What's happening, party people? Welcome to the Davis Daily. My name's Corey, and here's your daily dose of D. So I was fortunate enough to sit down with Luca Andolfatto. He's a local realtor here, but he also has a podcast called The Way It Is. So we chatted about, some of the stuff that I've been doing in terms of the Davis Daily blog, as well as really kind of getting down and dirty with my personal journey to self-improvement. And one of the things we touched on was the benefit of being vulnerable. And the reason why was this whole journey to change, which I've talked about quite a bit on the blog, all started with me just putting myself out there and taking a chance. I had reached a point in my former career where I was ready to make a change, but I didn't really know how to go about it. And for the longest time, I just thought, how can I do this? How can I do that? I made some plans, I wrote them down, but I never acted on it. And part of that is there's always this fear of failure. But even more so, there's a fear, I think, of putting yourself out there and being judged by others. And the one thing that I've come to learn, the reality, most people just don't care. Sounds a bit harsh, but that's also a good thing. Because if you do make mistakes, if you do fail, you're not going to be judged. In fact, you're going to be rewarded more often than not. And that's been my experience. Building in public is an amazing thing because while most people don't care, the people that do care aren't going to judge you. They're actually going to see the potential that you have because you are out there taking risk and willing to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. The other thing about being vulnerable and being open, it gives you clarity on the opportunities that are around you. It allows you to clearly see that road to self-improvement. And it can also inspire people. And that was the case the other day. I was reading a blog post from Tim Stoddart, who I've talked about on the blog and on your Daily Dose of D. Tim's a recovering addict, and he wrote a lengthy blog post which was very inspirational. It was titled, How Being a Drug Addict Made Me a Better Entrepreneur. And he goes on to talk about the struggles that he faced, hitting rock bottom, and coming to that moment when he realized he had to get out of it or he was going to die. I won't get into all the nitty-gritty details, but I was inspired by it. And the thing is because he was very vulnerable by putting that out there. And instead of being judged, you could see by all the comments that he got how so many people found hope in what he had to say, found strength in what he had to say, and also applauded him for just growing as a person and his willingness to just put himself out there. So, in my most recent blog post, I did get a little vulnerable. I talked a little bit about my mental struggles with this most recent lockdown. It's been a lot harder on me than maybe I really recognized at first. And I do have to give Andrea a little credit for not only helping me realize that I was struggling, but also that most of the people, you, that follow along with my journey seem to resonate most with the stuff that is a little more personal and me being vulnerable. So if you get a chance, check out the blog post. Otherwise, don't be afraid to take chances. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And remember, nobody's going to judge you. Most people are probably not going to care. And if they do care, you're going to be rewarded for it. And you're also going to provide some people some inspiration. It's been your Daily Dose of D. We'll see you guys tomorrow.